We're starting today in Sano Ngoang. Bit of a mouthful, but this is a view we have from our accommodation. A beautiful, beautiful little homestay in a very, very remote part of Flores. But stunningly, they've been able to build a really nice homestay with a beautiful garden and an outlook over to that lake. Now that lake is very interesting in that fish don't survive there because there's a bit of acidity in the water, and that's primarily due to the volcanic activity around here. And what that also means is that there are hot springs, and that's what we're going to go and check out right now. The weather at the moment is quite beautiful. It's cool. It's about 22 degrees, almost cool enough to have a long sleeve on, but not quite. And I can smell that sulfur in the air just slightly. I just heard the school bell ring for the local kids. It's a small village of about, I would say, less than 1,000 people. And for them to get their supplies, they go on a little truck once a week to town. And when they say go to town, it's another really small village that they go to the market once a week. Interestingly also is that electricity has only been in this village for 4 years. Before that, if you wanted electricity, you either had to have your own generator or you would use one of those little gas lamps. And they still do use those gas lamps occasionally if the electricity goes out. So join me on a bit of an adventure today, see what we get up to. If you haven't been watching my previous episode, you probably don't know how bad the road to Sano Ngoang is. It's the worst road I've ever been on, and I've been on some very, very bad roads in rural Laos before, in fact. This road is bad not because of mud, but because the entire road surface has been washed away. It's just left a road base with rocks that are pretty much like that, those big boulders. So getting across those on a motorbike is quite a challenge and really tiring, especially when you have a fairly heavy bike like a Honda PCX and you've got a passenger on the back and luggage. And it's just tiring. I was absolutely exhausted by the end of yesterday. Now, I asked the lady that owns the homestay about the road, and I said, has that road ever been good? And she said, yes, used to be very good. Before COVID, it was a fantastic road, very smooth, and you could go quite fast along it. But over time, of course, it hasn't been maintained. And not just that, requests to the government to have the road fixed have fallen on deaf ears. I asked her, so what did you ask? And she said, well, we asked them to fix it and we got no response. And I said, well, if you've got no response, it probably means no. And that's sort of the way it is. We're just walking along the side of the lake here. You can see that there aren't any boats out in the lake, and that's because there are no fish. So it's one of those lakes that is beautiful to look at, but perhaps not so pleasant to swim in. I'm guessing if fish can't live in there, that maybe humans might not survive in there either. So I'm not going to take a dip. But then it sort of begs the question, if the water's coming from this hot spring I'm going to, how safe is that? There's a little path up here around the back that they've put in through a sort of a swampy area. This whole area is like a bit of a swamp because there is this hot spring water coming out of it, and the smell of Werang or sulfur is a little bit stronger here. So this is what the hot springs look like. They've made a little pool out of water that comes from a bamboo track over here. That's pretty cool. Some sort of, that's their plumbing. Wow. Well, that's quite warm. That's like a hot bath. In here it's cooled down, of course. So it's time to get in. Oh, the water at these hot springs is just beautiful. I really love it. Just a perfect temperature. You know, some hot springs you go to take your breath away with how hot they are. This is a little bit cooler than that. It's not lukewarm, it's still quite warm, but it's not boiling hot. And you do get a view straight across the lake like that. It's a beautiful, beautiful view this morning. It's paradise. It's paradise here. It's sort of like a lost paradise. The sort of paradise that you never knew about and you took 5 hours to get to along a bumpy old road, and then you get to lean back and relax in this beautiful, beautiful hot spring. I love it. I love Sano Ngoang. Love it here. I'm surprised it's actually not more popular than it is. I've heard it's a good bird watching place as well because it's so remote. Pak, kerja apa?
Saya pensiunan guru.
Oh, pensiunan guru. Oh, di sekolah ini.
Iya, rumah disediakan tidak tempat.
Oh,
Diangkat di Bunga.
ya. Oh. Dan biasanya kalau ke sini mungkin satu kali per minggu atau ke
Oh sini. Saya kadang-kadang kalau capek kerja pada saat ini. Datang sini.
Pretty sure you don't want to fall in that hot water. Looks like it's boiling. Or it might just be gas coming from underground. But it's sort of like a bit of a stream that goes all the way down to the lake from this hot spring. This is a bit of an external look at the place we stayed last night, the guest house. Only us in it. The owner actually lives up the street, which is where we're just going to go and have breakfast now. But it's a massive construction in such a remote area with beautiful gardens overlooking that lake down there. As I said earlier, for those people who love birds, this is a paradise. And I just saw a bird that I have no idea about, but it was a white one, tiny, tiny white one with a huge, long, flowing tail. I mean, for the people who don't know, you'd say bird of paradise. And I'm one of those people. I'd say bird of paradise, but no idea really. Beautiful bird though. So if you're into birds, come down here. Hey, hello! That's the truck that takes people to and from the market. Brilliant. It's actually Saturday today, so that's what they're doing, going back and forth to the market. They're still shouting. Gotta love it. Gotta love Flores. So sort of halfway along that journey from the lake until the main road, and there's a town called Werang. It's actually, if you'd watched my previous videos, actually where the wedding was that I went to. But I've decided just to break up the journey a little bit and come down to the Pasar Tradicional. And we'll see what they've got going on. First thing I noticed is that they've got a lot of electronic things here. Hello. Heaps of, hello. What's your name? Oh, that's not nice. That's not nice. I got kasar, tidak sopan. Yeah, a lot of stuff I wasn't expecting. More stuff that you'd think you might get at a normal shop. Hello. Hello. Lots of clothing here as well. Good. How are you? A bit more like phone cases, a lot of electronic stuff. Yeah, this must be that section which is like electronics, bags. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Bags, all sorts of knickknacks as well. Oh, cooking supplies. All your homewares are over here.
Hello.
Hello. I've got a group of kids following me around. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Apa kabar?
Bye.
Bye.
Indonesia.
Hah?
Indonesia.
Ya bisa. Aku bisa bicara bahasa Indonesia kalau mau. Kalau Inggris juga.
Asik.
Ya.
Nanti tangi, guys, tangi. Dari mana?
Habis dari danau apa?
Sonongol.
Yang.
Asal.
Asalnya Australia. Yeah. Down in the corner here we have a little warung makan. There's a guy having something to eat there. They'll serve you up some little bits of food, a bit of drink.
Ada.
Interesting. That's cool. Hello.
Hello.
Now this is something I'm really interested in. Look at these traditional fabrics. Ini kain dari Manggarai ya?
Ya. Songke.
Songket. Look at the songket dari Manggarai. Look at those fabrics, beautiful fabrics, unreal colors. That's the traditional fabrics. There's some traditional knives as well that they've got going here. Big machetes. Not sure we'll be able to get that back on the plane. What else we got up here? There's another warung makan here, a little warung makan. Yeah, a little place to eat your food. Jalan-jalan saja, Bu.
Bahasa Indonesia.
Aku asli dari Australia.
Bahasa Indonesia.
Ibu asli Australia juga.
Asli Werang. Dari sini saya asli sini.
Asli sini. Lahir.
Asli Lombok Tengah.
Oh, ya.
Mataram.
Lahir di Mataram atau lahir di sini?
Mataram, suami orang sini.
Oh ya? Oh, jadi bagaimana bisa ketemu kalau lahir jauh dari sini?
Ya namanya kita jodoh tuh.
Jodoh di mana?
Ya namanya kita jodoh ketemu di Labuan dulu sama Mas Sahrul kan.
Oh.
Ya. Dengan Amir Khan.
Itu seperti takdir.
Sudah punya istri?
Punya.
Berapa anak?
Belum punya, Bu.
Aduh.
Tidak usah ditanya.
Saya sudah 6 orang anak.
Wow.
Udah punya cucu.
Wow, banyak sekali ya, Bu.
Alhamdulillah.
Iya. Ini bisnis Ibu.
Iya, bisnis
Gado-gado.
ini saja mata pencariannya Ibu dari dulu itu untuk menghidupi anak yang
Biasanya masak apa, Bu?
Ya,
Gado-gado.
biasa nasi ayam,
Ya.
Gado-gado.
pecel,
Nasi goreng?
dadar,
Nggak ada.
seadanya.
Seadanya saja. Kalau ada pasar untuk beli sayur dan lain-lain, ada di sana?
Itu ada di sana.
Di
Kalau
seberang.
ya.
Oke, terima kasih, Bu. Senang sekali
Sama-sama.
ketemu Ibu. Ya.
Sama-sama.
Oke.
Ya.
Oke, ayo berangkat. Aku udah punya banyak anak, Bu. I've got like 10 kids following me now. Just gonna have a quick swing across to the wet market that has the all the veggies and meat. If I can see it. Here we go. This is where all you've got a bit of, it looks like ginger. That's like a cornmeal almost. Jagung ya. Jagung digiling.
Iya.
Jagung giling. Nah, terus Bu. Udah makan.
Sayur.
Wow, banyak sayur ya.
Tomat.
Oh, ada kopi juga.
Tomat.
They've got coffee over there. They've got, that doesn't look like ginger, that looks like more like galangala. These are the trucks that people are getting around on. These little trucks that take you into the villages. So even though this feels like remote, and it is, the villages go a lot more remote than this, up roads that are really difficult to traverse. So these trucks are able to carry people up there. There's lots of onions here. They've got garlic. Banyak kacang ya. Kacang hijau. So that's, I think we call those mung beans. Bukan, itu bukan kacang tanah. Oh, yang itu. Oh, yes, peanuts. They've got the kidney beans. Wow, there's actually quite a good selection around here of these veggies, and I bet you any money, it's dirt cheap. Good quality too. Look at those tomatoes over there. Oh, lots of dried fish. A whole lot of dried fish of different types. Unreal. That's a huge fish there, almost like a barracuda or something. And then you can buy your eggs and all that. Just ketchup, more dried fish. Hello, how are you? Ikannya dari mana?
Ya,
Biasanya ikan dari mana?
dari Labuan Bajo.
Labuan Bajo.
Dari air.
Pasti dari air. Jadi harus dikeringin dulu pakai garam.
Nggak pakai garam.
Nggak pakai garam.
Pakai garam.
Pakai. Yeah, okay, mari ya.
Boleh.
So there you go. Lots of salt to dry these fish out. What you can often do with that dried fish, it looks a bit ugly, but what you can do is you chop it up into little tiny bits and add it to something like a nasi goreng, and it gives this really salty kick. It's not a fishy kick, it gives it a really intense salty kick that I really enjoy. Susan hates it. Depends what you like, I guess. But yeah, down at the market here, it's all happening. I love it. I love a good traditional market like this, just to see what's going on, see what the local people are up to. It's a little bit later in the day, actually, than the ideal time. Getting down to these markets around 6 o'clock in the morning is usually when it's all happening. Maybe here, because it's a central market that a lot of people have to come to from far, maybe around the 8 o'clock mark might be quite busy as well. We found our way back to Labuan Bajo this afternoon and just checked into our hotel for the day. Just wanted to give you a quick look around it. It was 300,000 a night. It's called Back to Bajo. Private room with, look at that, beautiful clean sheets. carpeted floors. We have a shower and a toilet I can sit down on, and an air conditioner. 300,000, I'm happy with that. I am happy that I've got a little bit of comfort. You know, I do love this rough and ready local style of travel. I absolutely love it, but I like my comforts as well. So coming to a place like this with air conditioning, it's just a great way to kick back and relax for a little while until we keep going again. In fact, this afternoon, I think we might go up to the top of the hill and have a look at the sunset. Apparently the sunsets here in Labuan Bajo are amazing. So I want to get to that. The sunsets in Labuan Bajo are some of the best in the world. And as the sun sets on another day here on the island of Flores, it's time for us to say our goodbyes to the island. Tomorrow we're actually going back to Bali. I'll do one more video in the morning when I do a bit of a walk around the town just to point out a few of the main points of interest. But I just wanted to summarize a little bit about Flores, our time in Flores, and what you might want to expect when you come here yourself. First of all, the main port is Labuan Bajo, and this is easy to get to from Bali. We're actually flying tomorrow for 850,000 per person straight back to Bali. It's about a 2-hour flight. Flights are happening multiple times per day, so it's a really easy jumping off point. Labuan Bajo itself is not a tourist destination. We need to make that clear because I think there's some misconception that Labuan Bajo is the be-all and end-all. It's a nice town, but it's usually a place you come to on the way to somewhere else. And one of the things that most people do is go out there. You can see Homer Simpson on the horizon there, lying down. Those islands out there are amazing to go snorkeling around. There are Komodo dragons on some of them, and you can do a liveaboard type sailing arrangement for say 3 nights and just take in all the sights out there in the ocean, and it's absolutely fantastic. But you can also turn inland up over there, over the mountains, and if you get into the mountains of Flores, it's a totally different experience. An experience that's a little bit untouched and a little bit special, and something that most people don't do. One of the things that you can do is get a car and a driver from here in Labuan Bajo and for him to take you overland to either Ende or Maumere, where there are airports that can take you directly back to Bali. A one-way trip like that was going to cost you in the region of 1 to 1.5 million rupiah per day for the driver and his accommodation, and then all your meals you'll need to pay for yourself, plus your own accommodation, which is not expensive along the road. Or for the really adventurous, just go and get a motorbike and go off and branch out on your own and see what you can find. Whatever you choose to do, Labuan Bajo and the whole of Flores is an absolutely amazing place to come. I really hope that you've enjoyed our time here in Flores, and I hope that you may be able to enjoy it sometime in the future yourself. Thanks for watching, and thanks for coming along for the ride. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things Sanua and the rest of Indonesia. I'll catch you next time.